I really enjoy giving some education, teaching, and most importantly is providing unbiased advice, because I believe in this world, everybody deserves good information sharing, and we are here to do that together. And usually I am the one who's teaching major classes, but we actually have a team at Financial Planning Association that teaches a different type of classes at different libraries. So I'm very happy that we continue this program and make it available to you. So today we'll talk about Social Security. I have a lot to share. I have over 35 different pages, so we'll go through some of them very briefly. On others, we will stop by and maybe pause. I'll try to watch the chat. If there's any questions coming in the middle, I will try to address them, so we have a flow of, if we have question about this particular topic or subject, we don't have to wait till all the way to the end. We might want to forget why we wanted to ask. So if something really interests you, please put it in the chat. We're happy to address it as we go. All right. So let's start with what has come new, and there's been some changes, and these changes are not very brand new, but very very important changes that came along, and we would like to make sure we know about them, because it will affect your spousal benefits greatly if you're planning on using them. So in 2015, the new act came in, and it basically suggested that there will no longer be no longer be available certain benefits for spouses. One of them is changes to file and suspend. So previously you can file, for your benefits, and then suspend them and jump on your spousal ones. Well, now you cannot do this. You have to choose one or the other, and they've been suspended for a while. The other one that's still phasing into it, and basically based on your age. So change to restricted application. So restricted application basically simply means that it's a strategy that enables you to apply for Social Security benefits, but restrict the claim so that he or she is receiving only spousal benefits. So this one is also phasing out. People turning 62 after turning 62 after December 31st, 2015 will not be able to do that. So people have been seen in the last few years are not eligible to either one. So basically at the time you're claiming your benefits, you have to choose one or the other, yours or your spousal. So that's not great news, that they closed this loophole already for a while, and they continue closing for people who are turning certain age. Now, what still continues to be available is if you're a divorced spouse and you, let's say, have not remarried or remarried after the age of 60, you have a choice actually to go on your spousal benefits at some point, and then go on your own at certain age. If you are a widow, a similar applies. So you can go on the benefits depending on which benefits are higher. But let's say if your spouse passes away, then you can apply for your spousal benefits if they're higher and carry those on. That's why it's important to optimize and maximize benefits for the spouse who has a higher earnings. Because if you do, and that spouse has a higher chance of passing away, the surviving spouse will have a higher benefits for the rest of her or his life. So it's a great benefit to think about. How benefits are determined, I'm not going to go into big details, but it's basically 40 quarters of 10 years of wage earnings. And quarters don't have to be consecutive, but once you get 40 quarters, you're eligible for Social Security benefits based on your earnings. Now, what's interesting, and the benefits calculated based on average 35 highest years of earnings. So there is a zero used on all years less than 35. So you basically what this means that if you have working years more than of 35, you probably maxed out on your benefits regardless. And if you have less than that, then your benefits will be lower than the maximum benefits available. When full retirement age starts. So it depends on your age and when you were born, obviously. So you can see that full retirement age for folks who are being born 1954 before, it's 66. And then people that are younger, 1955 and on, who have a different retirement age, literally difference in few months. And people born after 1960, all of them at the moment are full retirement age is 67. Most likely, this number will change. So a lot of people heard that there is, a Social Security bankruptcy or underfunding. It's been an issue for a number of years. We don't believe the Social Security benefits will ever lapse or go away. They will not. But what will change is the full retirement age will start to be pushed out, especially with the new law that came out that required minimum distributions been pushed out till age of 73. The same probably will apply to Social Security. As we increase our longevity, as well, the full retirement age will as well. Because if you think about 1940s and 1950s, average life expectancy for retiree was literally 70 or 75, but now it's almost 15 years longer. So retirement benefits from Social Security, the full retirement benefits from Social Security age will go up. Let's talk about what it means by taking benefits early and how we can make decision about it. This is one of the most important decisions in your retirement plan. Besides saving enough money for retirement, investing it according to your risk level, and saving in the right investment vehicles, it's critically important at what age you want to claim your benefits. It is very disadvantageous to claim your benefits earlier, because you can see if you claim it before age of 66 or 67 respectively, you get a big reduction in your benefits, and these are for life, which means collectively you will collect by far less money if your life expectancy at least 20 to 30 years. So it's very important to determine what's the best time to claim them. In general, it's full retirement age. However, there are some exclusions. One of them, you have a low life expectancy. Usually, the reason you want to claim your benefits at 67 or after was the idea that your life expectancy at least is 82. From all the calculations I've encountered and I've run the financial planning, we can see that 82 is that magic age where if you start collecting at 67 or after, and your life expectancy is 82, you will collect by far greater cumulative benefits over time. However, if your life expectancy is less, or you have very, very little savings, and once you retire, you'll run out of money pretty quick, then you might want to start collecting your benefits sooner because you have really no choice. So that's one way to look at it, and definitely try to maximize your benefits by reaching full retirement age. Taking benefits and working. This comes in all the time in our discussions. One very simple rule of thumb: if you continue working and you have not reached your full retirement age, please think twice before collecting Social Security benefits. Why? Because there are two disadvantages. Number one, you get reduction. You give up $1 in benefits for every $3 earned above $51,000 limit of your income. So it's really not a good idea. In a year of full retirement, so if you're full retirement age of 67, you continue working and you turn on your Social Security benefits, you still get a pretty heavy reduction. If you're under full retirement age, your reduction is $1 in the benefits for every $2 earned. So even worse. So in general, if you're working and you're already reaching age of 65, 66, and your full retirement age is 67, please think about it on a reduction standpoint. Also, another disadvantage is all of these benefits will be fully taxable. That's another drawback. And the third one is your Social Security benefits will not be accumulated at the speed they're supposed to, because you're taking money from the system and you're putting money into the system by working and contributing towards Social Security. So there is not as much benefits collected and accumulated on your behalf while you're working and collecting benefits. So there should be a very good reason for you to start collecting. Otherwise, usually the best idea is to wait till you're at full retirement age. So everybody here on the call should know their full retirement age, either 66 plus some months or 67. so you can start planning accordingly. Applying for Social Security takes a couple of weeks, so you always need to apply a couple of, I would say at least a month, if not more, before you're ready to collect, because it takes time for application to be processed, for documents to be sent out, or if you do it online, at least to have all the benefits to be recorded and the check sent to you or direct deposit sent to you. So while collecting Social Security, this is just an example. If you're still working and you earn $25,000 a year, $5,000 over $19,500, then you will give up $2,700 of benefits. So not a good idea. It's a great example to show that if you're working and if possible for you to push those out, it's a very, very good benefit to have. Advantages of delaying it. Let me ask you if you know the average rate of return of a stock market for the last 50 years. So if you look at the numbers, you can say it depends where you invest the money, of course, but if it's a general S&P 500, all the US large companies of the United States, we probably can expect to make on average between 8 and 10%. But to do so, we have to assume quite a bit of risk. However, if you are pushing out your Social Security benefits, you get 8% increase without any risk. You take pretty much no risk by getting a bump on your Social Security benefits of 8%. Otherwise, you have to seek somewhere else with much greater risk. So 8% risk-free increase on your benefits is a fantastic opportunity for you to increase your benefits over a long time. And it becomes even nicer because it's cumulative. Over time, you will collect by far more benefits. Many of you who already been collecting benefits can see that your benefits jumped up quite a bit because we had a huge inflation last year. So most people see an 8 to 9% increase in their Social Security benefits when they receive their check in January. So that's great. In one sense, it's not good because inflation is not good generally for the economy, but for your Social Security paycheck was definitely a positive move. So think about collecting and what it makes sense for you to collect based on your income needs, and also based on how long you plan to be around, if you have some ideas. We talked about Social Security break-even just in a minute, and it's basically, in general, here in this chart it says age 81. I've seen it's between age 81 and 82. A lot of times it's age 82. So a lot of times you can see the blue line, light blue line, it's when you collected 62. And the purple is between age 62 and 6 versus 67. And the yellow line, age 70. So you can see cumulatively, you can make quite a bit of more money, especially if you start at 70 versus 62. The difference is significant. It's almost $500,000 for your lifetime, should you live till age of 94. So the difference between the purple line, which is collecting at your full retirement age, and versus 62 is also there, but it's not as great. But you can see it is critically important for you to optimize your benefits because collectively you can have so much more money down the road. Taxation of Social Security benefits. So a lot of people have a notion that since I already pay taxes on my income when I was working, I should not get taxed on the Social Security benefits. Unfortunately, it's not the case. So if you look at a single or head of household filer who makes $25,000 or less, there is no taxes on Social Security benefits, period. I've only seen in my practice less than probably 10% of people has no tax on their Social Security benefits. Very low income, they live overseas, they're collecting benefits, and all their benefits is not taxable. And 85% up to 90% of people who are collecting benefits either pay 50% tax on it. Majority of Californians pay 85% tax on their Social Security benefits. So it's a unfortunately.
Movie deadline.
Oh, we need to mute someone here. So that's why it's so important to look at your taxation and just set aside enough money through your Social Security withholdings to pay enough taxes for it. So please keep that in mind, and do expect to pay taxes on 85% of your benefits at the age when you start collecting it. Let's talk about the income, what's included, what is not. So unfortunately, the California tax-free municipal bonds income is included. It's called provisional income. So we cannot avoid that, even though it's not taxable on the federal or state level. If you buy California muni bonds, it will be included in your Social Security calculations. Income from Roth IRA and HSA is not included, and non-taxable income from life insurance also it's not. Any tax deferral income inside of your IRA, as long as you don't touch it, obviously it's not included, it's self-explanatory. So basically, most of the income that you can see here is included, including half of your Social Security benefits. So it's most of your income that you earn outside of Social Security plus half of the Social Security benefits. Spousal benefits. Married individuals can claim Social Security benefits based on the personal earnings or your spouse's earnings. If electing based on the spousal earnings, we need to keep in mind it's only 50% of your spouse's Social Security benefits, and it's based on that person's full retirement age benefits. However, one thing to keep in mind that if you collect before your full retirement age, you are not going to get 50%. You're going to get a very big reduction. So if you decide to collect in Social Security benefits, also consider doing so at the full retirement age, because you will get exactly 50% of your spousal benefits. When your spouse is collecting, does not matter, but spouse has to be, I believe, spouses has to file the benefits in order for you to be eligible. So you cannot claim spousal benefits until your spouse files for benefits. It's completely different for divorced spouses. It's not related. You can file for your divorce ex-spouse benefits without reference to your ex-spouse. Spousal benefits example, how is spousal benefits calculated? So let's look at Gary and Amy. So Amy didn't have work, she was a stay-home mom, and Gary collecting benefits of $2,000. So Amy has a choice of collecting 50% of Gary's, and that would be her benefits for life that she can turn in at her full retirement age. Taking spousal benefits early is not a good idea. You can see here as it's hugely reduced. It becomes 35%, 32% if you're at full retirement age is 67. So it's really a big reduction, and the longer you wait, the better it gets. Very similar to regular benefits, but it's actually even greater reduction. We can quickly go over this, but basically it's saying if Amy to collect it at full retirement age, she will get $1,000. If she decides to turn it at 62, she only gets $650, big reduction. Let's talk about Social Security maximization strategies. So let's talk about two people here, a family. They're married and both will be 67 years old pretty soon. So Megan full monthly Social Security benefits at age 67 will be $1,620 per month. And Adam is looking to retire at 70, and his Social Security benefits will be quite higher, $2,400. So he wants to collect at 70, and Megan is ready to collect at 66. So Adam dies at age of 85, Megan dies at age of 92. So what will happen is the Megan can start collecting her own benefits because they're much lower. And if or when Adam dies, she will go on his benefits, which are much greater. So that was exactly what I was talking about a couple of previous slides. If Adam has a shorter life expectancy, you want him to optimize his benefits, especially if he's continuing working. So if he continues working till age of 70, it does not make sense for him to collect Social Security. It can make sense for him to wait. And if Megan has good life expectancy, then she will pick up his benefits at a higher level later on. She will lose her benefits. She cannot do both, but her benefits are much lower than his. So we always want to optimize and maximize the benefits of the higher earner, because especially if it's a husband, because in general, woman has a couple of years longer life expectancy. And as a result, she can collect those larger benefits should husband not be around. All right, so that's what we just talked about. Adam receives amounts, and then we can see, you know, the difference is pretty significant. So I don't want to go too much into those details, but it's very important for us to understand that the higher earner has ability to grow their benefits at 8% each year. And if he or she continues working beyond full retirement age, then the benefits increase even faster. All right, so let's talk about, so restricted application, it's something that people been using a lot before. Right now, it's not as popular or applicable, rather. It's not as applicable because you age, most people in that age group already collecting benefits. So restricted applications became not applicable or available to most people who are ready to retire. So I don't want to focus on. If you're interested to learn more, I will be sharing these slides with Lisa, and then we can go over those at a later time. Collecting benefits from divorced spouses. So spousal benefits, if you've been married for at least 10 years, that's a requirement. You cannot remarry. I have to say that actually, yes, you can remarry, but you have to remarry after age of 60. So there is no penalty after age of 60. You can remarry, and you have an option of collecting from your ex-spouse, collecting your own, or collecting your new husband's Social Security benefits, whichever is higher. So if you decide to get married again, maybe you do it after age of 60. Because if you marry before age of 60, you completely forfeited all the Social Security benefits of your ex-spouse. They're gone. You can never collect them again. So ex-spouse is entitled for Social Security benefits on your Social Security income, and that does not affect any of the parties. You collecting it absolutely separately. Now, survivor benefits are a little different. You can start collecting as early as 60. And also the same idea, marriage has to last for 10 years, and you cannot remarry after age of 60. So I'm sorry, you cannot remarry if you remarry after age of, before age of 60, then you lose your benefits. So that also is important. A lot of people believe that it's going to be difficult for them to collect divorce benefits because they don't know spousal information. So you need to have 2 pieces of information in order to claim your ex-spouse benefits. You need to know the Social Security number. You need to know their birth date. Once you have those 2, then you can go to Social Security Administration and apply for benefits either to full retirement age, if you want to collect 50% of his or hers, or ask them to run a comparison or give you idea how much your own benefits will be at that age versus his benefits. And then you will see the difference, and the decision will be very simple, which one you should be collecting. Survivor benefits. Survivor benefits can be collected as early as age of 60. However, they will be reduced by about 28%. If the person is a widow and the children are still minor, that will be an exception. Then you get the full. Survivor can switch to his or her own benefits up to a certain age. So that's what we talked about. You can let your own benefits increase by 8% each year without touching them, and you can live on your survivor Social Security benefits meanwhile. A lot of people do it. It's a great strategy because if you both have a very similar income and one of your spouse unfortunately passed away and diseased you prematurely, then you can collect spousal benefits as early as age of 60 and then switch to your own benefits at a later age and let your own benefits go for a higher number. So that's also a great way for you to optimize your benefits and also create a larger income stream later on in retirement. You can switch to your own benefits anytime. You don't have to wait till age of 70, but you can always compare them and see at what age would be the best to switch. Social Security and other pension benefits. So government has some sort of pension offsets. It's called windfall elimination provision. Usually it's to those workers who did not withhold Social Security taxes from their salary, such as government agency, railroad people, like the railroads, some teachers' retirement benefits. Not every county or state employee would have that, but some of them do not withhold Social Security benefits. They participate in a different system. And as a result, there will be a reduction in your Social Security benefits because you will be collecting the pension benefits from different source. It's 50% of the non-Social Security pension, and or $480. So reduction is there. It's not very significant, but it's definitely something to consider in your retirement plan. So do not expect to get the full Social Security benefits if you have not been participating and paying into the system. Pensions from an employer where Social Security taxes were paid is not taken into considerations. So if you have a pension benefits, but while you were working and collecting and accumulating pension benefits, you were still paying Social Security benefits, those pensions stays untouched. It's interesting, in California, there is two types of benefits that government pays: the school retirement, and there is CalPERS and CalSTRS. So there is different ways how you pay your Social Security benefits on different systems. So you need to look into your W-2 and to your paycheck and figure out, have you been paying Social Security or not? If you have not, please expect windfall elimination provision that would apply to you. In general, what I've seen, that if you have pension benefits and a Social Security, collectively, you're still getting a higher number than anybody who just receiving a regular Social Security benefits. By the way, currently, the maximum benefits you can get is about $4,000, maybe $4,200. And that would be based on the highest earnings. By the way, the maximum amount of earnings that will be taxed for Social Security purposes, I believe, is $145,000. So if you're making more than that, the rest of the amounts is not taxed. So which means your benefits also will never grow very high. They only will be based on that base income, which is $145,000. All right, let me see if we have any questions. It doesn't looks like we are still in a listening mode.
Actually, there's a few more questions.
Please, Lisa, yes.
Yeah. So somebody asked, what is the maximum Social Security dollars per month that somebody can earn?
Right. Yeah, I just mentioned it's about $4,000.
Okay.
Less, a little bit more, but it's the number. Only a couple of years ago, it was $3,500. Now it's about $4,000. So as inflation goes up and as time goes on, we see the numbers going higher.
Okay. And we will have a copy of these slides. Is that right?
Yes. We'll make them available. Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Key points on Social Security strategies. Monitor your statement. I did see, not very often, but sometimes Social Security Administration didn't get the proper reporting. That does happen. And you see that your income, W-2 income was 100,000, but Social Security only reported 50. Maybe they didn't get all information. So my recommendation is go back as many years as you can to check against your taxes or against your W-2 income to make sure reporting is accurate, or better yet, do it annually. Then you know you're up to date, everything has been correctly reported. All statements available online these days. You can go to socialsecurity.gov and create a secure username and a password to access the information and evaluate your benefits. very important to run something called break-even calculator. So I do it all the time, and I do it several times for people, for the same person. The break-even calculator compares taking your benefits at full retirement age or later compared to earlier. Let's say 62 versus 67, 62 versus 68, or 65 versus 70. And we can see at what age you will break even. A lot of folks find themselves that if their life expectancy at least 80, and they will benefit from the higher benefits, collecting later would be a better choice for them. So I would suggest run that calculator. You can find it online. I can also share with you the calculations or show you how to do it. So it's a great way for you to optimize your benefits and also see how much you need to draw from other sources, from your IRA accounts, from your trust accounts, from your other sources, from your rental income to supplement it. So the Social Security would not cover all of your expenses. Usually it's only 1/3 of your overall family expenses in retirement, but it's a big component to it. Why? Because these benefits are guaranteed. They are not stock market return benefits. They are not rental income. They're literally guaranteed to you to last for life. So that's why it's critically important to have that. Somebody asked me what is restricted application. I did mention it at the beginning of a presentation. So it's basically a strategy that enables you to apply for Social Security benefits, but restrict the claim so you can will be receiving only spousal benefits. And then later on you can switch it to your own. So, but that's phasing out because it's only available to people who turned 62 in 2015 or after. So you most likely might not be eligible unless you have certain age. So if 2015 you were, let's see, so 2015, so we have already 8 years after, so you need to be 62 plus 8, so you're already in the age of 70, which means this is your maximum age. So most people will not benefit from restricted application. It's already a history. So we don't need to focus on it. All right, somebody asking that the father passed away, one was 76 and 21. Can mother at 75 receive any Social Security benefits from him, even though she receives more benefits than him, I would assume. So a great question. Yes, the answer is yes, she can. However, she will not benefit by doing so. If mother, who is a survivor, has a higher Social Security benefits and the father has a lower one, she would need to stay on her own. If her benefits are lower, she immediately needs to go into her her spouse who passed away benefits, because she will get more benefits down the road. Be aware of certain windfall provisions. If you're part of the government system that does not participate in Social Security collection, that does impact a lot of calculations, so that's important. Another consideration for Social Security is when you are planning your retirement, and you have a sufficient substantial nest egg of liquid assets between your retirement accounts, 401k, regular savings, and then those substantial assets are can take care of you. Let's say you decided to have an early retirement at the age of 62, and you know you're not going to receive Social Security benefits till you're 67 at the normal retirement age, and you don't want to collect sooner. Idea is for you to do a lot of tax planning and draw money from your non-Social Security sources and let your Social Security increase, because later in life you can switch it around. You can start collecting more from Social Security at the higher level, and you can let your liquid assets to be not liquidated as fast because now you have this additional benefit. So you're kind of switching the strategies around based on your nest egg. So if you have a nice substantial nest egg, you can afford to collect some money from your assets sooner before Social Security kicks in. And then you switch it around. You reduce distributions from your other assets and you start collecting more from Social Security. If you collect Social Security sooner and push out distributions from IRA, what you just did, you basically cut yourself short on collecting those benefits at the higher age, at the higher amount at the later age. It's a big consideration. It's same true up for opposite when you have a very small nest egg and you don't want to deplete it too fast because you have 15 years or 20 years to go in retirement, maybe it's 30, then you want to start collecting your benefits sooner so you can take out of your nest egg that's very small amounts year by year by year, and not to deplete your basket of assets too quick. So it's a completely different strategies, and the numbers usually $500,000 or more than you can think about collecting later. If you have less than $500,000, you need to think and talk to your financial professional. So we finished the presentation. I can also give you a summary. I have a nice kind of, a summary that we can go through, and maybe you'll be interested in the statistics. So almost 40% amount of Social Security will be replaced. 40% amount of income Social Security will be replaced for average retiree. Actually, my number is 30, only 1/3, only because we're in Bay Area and our expenses is just way too high. You will need 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income adjusted for inflation to continue your current lifestyle. So be prepared to spend a little bit less once you retire, but not by a lot less. So 80%, usually I do the planning, I sometimes even say 100% the same expenses, maybe no college expenses, but pretty much everything else stays, especially you're staying in the same area. It definitely pays to wait. So if you wait every single year, you get a bump of Social Security benefits by 8%, great amount. And full retirement age, we just talked about it a few times, is 67 for those born in or after 1960. And you can have by 57% more in benefits should you collect at 70 versus 62. That's a big increase. 68% of Social Security recipients age 85 and older are women. That's very interesting statistics too. So that's something I wanted to share with you today. It's not, maybe for everything that we can talk about Social Security, there's other small details, but in general, you need to pay a very serious attention to that, because cumulatively, if you've seen the slide here, and I can go back to it to show you that your total benefits that you will collect over your lifetime, should you live till the age of 90, even if you live only till 88, it ranges between $800,000 up to $1 million. So it's a serious amount of asset that you will be collecting over long term that pretty much guaranteed to you. So you need to make the best out of it. So now we'll refer to a few questions. Is there any possibility that my Social Security benefits become zero because of the windfall elimination provision? Is their amount of reduction is higher than the Social Security benefit? The Social Security might become negative? No, absolutely not. The reduction is limited, and I've never seen it goes to zero. Never seen it. It's usually reduced somewhat and give you a chance to decide, sometimes if you continue working, you can decide if there is a chance for you to work for different systems and optimize one benefit or the other. A lot of people do that. They jump between different systems to see how much benefits they can collect. But in general, I've never seen it goes to zero, and especially negative. Do Social Security payments differ from one state to another? No, it's a federal system. They do not. Can you show an example of break-even if you retire, let's say, at the age of 62? Oh, perfect. Yes, I will show it to you. So let me pull that document and I'll share it with you. It's actually a very good exercise we can go over and see the results of it. So let me see if I can quickly pull it out for us and take a look. Okay, I have that document. So let me open it and we will go over it. It's actually a wonderful way for us to see it practically. Whoever asked the question, do you mind just giving me a simple number? How much you're thinking at 62 versus 66, and I'll plug those numbers in, so we can have a real life scenario. So we have so let's say we're collecting at the age of 62, right? Earlier benefits and versus age of 66. And let me see, I'm not seeing somebody typing. So I'll give you an example. So let's see, corresponding benefits to 62 is 2100, and at 66, it would be at 2400. With the COLA of 2.5%, that's maybe we can make COLA 3%, right? So we have 2100 benefits at age of 62, I'm sorry, and age of 66, we have 2400. Here we go. All right, so our break even, so if we have, let's see, 2.5% average COLA, so 62, 2100 to 66, 2400. So your break even is, let me see, it's interesting enough. Let me take a look. It will be around age of 84 right here. So 77 and you collecting. So around 84, you will break even on this. So that's your number. Now it really depends on what the benefits are. I just did a very simple example that might not be applicable to you particularly. If you have an actual numbers, it would be fun to see them in this case, because it will give us a little bit a better idea of what actual break-even point will be. So like, for instance, in this case, when I didn't make any changes, you can see that person wanted to collect at 66 versus 70. And they were collecting 3,000 versus 4,155. So their break-even point is 81 years old. So at 81, they would collect cumulatively 645,000 if they collect at age of 66, versus here they will break even about at 81. And after 81, you can see the cumulative benefits are here greater than here. That's why you can see the dark side, or the highlighted side goes back to here. So 81. But if this number goes higher, let's say it's 3,400, you will see immediately the break-even point moves. It goes all the way here, 91. So the higher your numbers that you collect sooner, the longer you have to wait to break even. So, okay. So I'll leave it out here. If you have any questions on this, you can ask me. This is showing you cumulative benefits here. If you collected 66 versus if you collected 70, that starts here, goes all the way. But at some point of time, right here at the age of 82, you can see how it changes, how those numbers, 714,000 versus 709. So that's your break-even point. All right, so let's see. Oh, somebody just sent, Lisa probably sent break-even calculator.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there was
Thank
an
you.
earlier question, Larissa, from Cliff. He's asking if there's any reason to delay taking Social Security after age 70 if one is still working.
Great question. No, the answer is absolutely not. And the reason for that is if you do not start collecting, you will not receive anything retroactively back. That's my understanding. If you forgot, or if you didn't turn it on, I don't believe you can even ask for Social Security to repay it back to you. And of course, you're not getting 8% increase. So you need to start collecting at 70. Otherwise, my understanding that they will not even pay you what you have not collected.
Okay, and Cliff wants to follow up, just to confirm this, is it spousal death benefits are 100% versus 50%?
No, spousal benefits are always 100% of the deceased spouse. So example is, right, so example is, I don't know if we have it on the slides here also. Simple example would be, I'll give you a drastic difference. One spouse stayed home most of the time, her benefits are $1,000. And he worked in a high tech and his benefits are 3,000. So if the spouse will collect, and let's say her age is 70 and his age is 80, and he passed away at the age of 80. So wife been collecting $1,000 a month for years since she was 67, and now he passed away at the age of 80 or 85, and his benefits are 3,000. She can immediately terminate her benefits and go on his as a survivor, and she will continue collecting his benefits for rest of her life.
Okay. And somebody asked, can one collect benefits of an ex-spouse if I assume the spouse has recently died?
How to collect, okay, great question also. So let's say ex-spouse died and you know, or somehow you went to Social Security, provided his social and his birthday, they pull his benefits up. If you have not remarried, you can collect survivor benefits on your ex-spouse if you have not remarried.
Okay.
So survivor benefits means you can collect his benefits. And if they're higher, obviously it makes sense to do. If they're lower, then you can stay on your own.
So one can apply to receive survivor benefits immediately after the death of an ex-spouse.
Yes, you can do that, right? You
Okay.
need to provide at least, you definitely need the Social Security number of your ex, because it would be difficult for them to locate the person by the name or just the birth date. Unfortunately, I heard some people say you have to provide a copy of a marriage certificate. I hope not, because not too many people keep their marriage certificates after being divorced for 40 years. So, but I've never seen anybody been denied because there is no marriage certificate either. So, but you do need to some way of proving that you've been married to that person.
Okay, and assuming that his benefits are higher than
Assuming the benefits are higher, otherwise it does not make sense. Correct.
okay, and then the surviving ex-spouse would get 100% of the ex-spouse's benefits.
Correct. Yes. Yes. Remember, you cannot remarry, right? If you've been remarried, then you forfeited all your survivor benefits on your ex.
Okay.
Somebody just asking here, I see, and I know it's very confusing. Can I apply for Social Security spousal benefits as early as age of 62 if my husband file for his Social Security 67? Absolutely, yes. Great question. And I will try to get you to that slide here so it's a little bit more visual. Oh, let me see. They can spell it. Okay, so if your husband, I assume his full retirement age is 67. So yes, he's receiving his benefits and you can get it as early as 62. Just remember, what will apply to you is that you're not going to get 50% of his, you're going to get only 32.5%, right? So if his full retirement age is 67, that looks like it is, you can apply, you're fully eligible, but your benefits will not be half of his, it's going to be only 32% of his. Right. So any other questions? I know it's a lot of data, but it's very simple. If between both spouses, one spouse has been collecting and we know will be receiving higher benefits, in this case, you need to evaluate, and your benefits are smaller, you need to evaluate, is 50% of his is better than your own? If the answer is yes, then you can go on his benefits right away at any age that makes financial sense.
Okay. So somebody asked if it would be possible to get a link to the Excel break-even calculator.
I can email Lisa your Excel sheet so that you can play around with that. Yeah. If
great, thank you.
Change the formulas in it, I cannot guarantee accuracy.
Oh,
but
correct.
As long as you don't change any formulas, you just plug in the age and the benefits, you can play around with that. It's a great calculator. I got it from a horse's mouth a long time ago when I used to teach Social Security presentation years ago, and it's been a great calculator. It really works. It's very simple. So definitely can share that.
Okay, excellent.
All right, good. So is there any questions? Anything else we should talk about on about Social Security? Taxation we covered. We also talked about, if you're working, try not to collect it. This is probably one of the major takeaways. If you continue working, accumulating benefits, try not to collect because you'll pay more taxes and you will collect less benefits later on if you do it. So try to postpone it as much as you can. I've never seen a case where it makes sense. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. So I'll
There
follow
is
up
one
with the-
more
Yes,
question,
sure.
if you have time. If inflation reverses, will the COLA go down?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, if inflation goes down, decreases, will the COLA go down?
Great question. So let me give you a history of this. I've been working with my clients on Social Security benefits since 2010. And people who've been collecting benefits since then know very well that there's been time since 2010, at least 2 to 3 years, where there was zero COLA. Even though we knew the gas prices are higher, we knew something else is higher, the government just announced there's going to be no COLA on Social Security benefits. And I believe they've done it even 2 years in a row. I forgot what year it was, but it was between 2010 and I think 2015. There was zero COLA. And then COLA went back to normal, which was 3%, and it was fluctuating till 2021 arrived. And then when inflation took off at the end of 2021, the COLA went to 8%. So absolutely, COLA is dependent on CPI, Consumer Price Index, and it's basically taking that number and incorporating into the increased benefits amounts. So it totally depends on the government, how they would announce it and how much Social Security is willing to take it, but it's very heavily related on the CPI, Consumer Price Index, which is inflation. Yes, great question.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So wonderful. Thank you, Lisa, for hosting, and I appreciate all the questions. Thank you for all the participants to be here. A really great conversation. I'm looking forward to more.
Thanks.
Thank you.